Welcome to the Connector podcast. We are all about living the bold life where we talk all things leadership, innovation, faith, and economic mobility with real conversations that matter. I am your host, Kristy Jackson, entrepreneur, speaker, and your go-to connector for stepping into your big, bold purpose. Yes, we are holding you accountable for living life big. So here we keep it warm, authentic, and unapologetically real because playing small is not an option. So today's guest, y'all are not ready. I'm so excited. Kay Wells. When I talk to women, especially Black women, that are innovators, right? Working in the innovation space that are designers, we always hear that we are consumers and not designers. Creators, I get so excited. So I am so happy to have you here, Kay, the founder and owner of Posie Pots. Welcome.
Thank you, Kristy. I am so excited to be here.
Yes, I can see it. If you guys cannot see this podcast, she is smiling from ear to ear. And she's just one of those people that exudes joy, natural joy. We were just having a conversation about that. So we're talking about the innovation factor. How can you reinvent your business and breaking barriers? Because we know that Black women especially are underrepresented in the innovation spaces, although we are thriving when it comes to startup businesses. So I'm just so curious as to how you broke through. But look, you're ready to tell me. But before we get to that, Kay, I've got to know, what was little Kay like? Were you like a tinkerer? Were you like, what was little Kay like?
Little Kay was very curious. Little Kay always used to play outside, play in the dirt, run around barefoot, take apart things. So I used to actually kind of get in trouble for taking apart the cell phone. Actually, the rotary phone. No cell phones were.
Girl, that's rotary a throwback. Phone. Yes, that is a throwback.
Yes. So, and as I got a little older, and I never stopped, even if I would get in trouble for taking things apart, wandering off, looking, seeking, exploring, being curious, and I was allowed to do that up into a certain extent. But then once I got a little bit older, even teenage, 11, 12, they would bring me the vacuum cleaner and say, can you fix this? They would bring me things to say, oh, she can fix it. Just give it to her. And I would just
So it was nurtured in you.
Yes, yes. We were encouraged. So I'm a very Southern family. So my entire family is from Mississippi, Shaw, Grenada, Mississippi. And they grew up outside, play outside, walking outside, everything outside. And so we grew up with that, go out as long as you're within the city limits, as long as you stay within the block and you come home before the street lights
come on. Yes, that's the thing. That's true. That's true.
And so it was encouraged.
Yes. We don't see a lot of that today. A lot of kids are inside on their gaming systems or just really inside watching television or things like that, not just, out and about. And I think the fact that, for one, that was nurtured in you, you were encouraged to be curious, but even just play in general, that is a spark for innovation. Because you have to figure out what games you're going to play, right? You're given an environment. You don't have anything to do. So you got to be creative in how you entertain yourself.
Absolutely.
Like that's a spark. That's kind of where it begins. So that spark has led to what I would call a roaring fire with your creation of Posie Pots.
Yes.
So tell us about your company, Posie Pots.
So Posie Pots is a 3D printed self-watering planter where you only have to water your plants but once a month. So it's a pot within a pot within a pot where there's engineering technology and a patented system that is actually titled Closed Loop Sub-Irrigation Self-Watering Planter.
Well, Kay, I'm so glad you just call it Posie Pots because if I had to remember all of that, I don't know.
So like you said, Kristy, It's the Posie Pot.
Yes.
So it keeps you from killing your plant, worrying about overwater, underwatering, just taking the stress out of it. Our motto is worry not, you've got a Posie Pot.
Oh, I love that. Because there is worry, right? Like I don't have a green thumb. I have a friend, that we always laugh and say we have black thumbs. Like we kill everything green. But I am so proud of myself. I've got some plants in October that are still alive.
Congratulations.
They are
You're
still
doing that.
alive.
They love you.
I take pride in like watering them
Yes.
and talking to them. And I know I don't water them as often as I don't have a regimen, but when I think about it, they're still living. So I'm doing something right?
Yes.
So it can be intimidating because I love greenery.
Yes.
And
a lot of people do.
Yes.
A lot of people love greenery, love green spaces, love the look of plants, want to have that sense of like nurturing and something thriving and alive through in their space.
Yeah.
And so in having a foolproof system where you don't have to constantly think, okay, did I put too much in? Did I put overwater? Did I put not enough in there?
Yeah.
And so, actually it came about from being outside gardening, going back to those southern roots. And I actually got attacked by the mosquitoes. We used to live in California and they don't have mosquitoes there. Moved back to St. Louis, forgot. How can you forget about the mosquitoes?
Girl, because we have them. They are horrible here.
Yes. And so I got attacked and was like, I only need to do this but once a month. Once a month. And so, it came all in just like, like they say, that stroke of genius, like that little light.
Yes.
And I have so much gratitude and thank God for just having that Southern upbringing where we had the garden outside and we had the playtime and I was encouraged to, seek and explore, which as human beings, we naturally, by nature and by community, are explorers, are curious, and we get that pushed down and pushed out of us. And so that question that you asked earlier about like getting, how do we like recreate, innovate? How do we, get tapped back into that? I would say go back to your childhood. Yeah. Go back to things that brought you happiness. What made you excited? What sparked your interest? And revisit little you.
That's so beautiful, Kay, because I am really, that is what this movement is all about. Connector is about tapping into your creativity. Like my purpose is helping to shine the light on women's creative brilliance. And I look at that as my God-given gift, my purpose, because when we first meet God, He is creating. And so when we are unearthing that in women, we are helping them to reflect God's light and God's truth and His design for them. But not only that, it's inspiring, it's encouraging, it's nurturing to ourselves because we're functioning as we were created to function, right? Somebody talked about like a coffee pot being used to try to sit on it. Like that's not what it's made for. It's not gonna work, right?
Yes.
So when we're functioning outside of our purpose, there's constant friction and constant frustration. So I love this story and many of the stories that the women are sharing on this podcast and our guests are sharing, because it's validating living out your purpose, those things that come naturally to you, intuitive to you, and you just tapped into that and use that to build a thriving, successful business around that.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, listen, we're not going to sleep on Posie Pots. Miss K, you have been on national platforms. You are significantly funded. Can you share some of those amazing celebrations that have happened for your business?
Absolutely. It has been amazing. I won't try to go sequentially. I'm just going to rattle them off as they come to top of mind. And so most recently was Arch Grants. So Arch Grants, we won an Arch Grants this past cohort or year. They don't really do a cohort, but this past year we won the Arch Grants, which is a $75,000 non-diluted grant that we can use to, build, thrive, grow our business, and that's open right now. So I encourage all the ladies with small businesses to go in and apply, and it's open right now. And then also we did UMSL's grant, which was amazing. We also did St. Louis University's New Venture Accelerator. We were featured on ABC's Good Morning America episode. We've been featured on PBS. We're going to do, we've done all the local channels, the Channel 5, St. Louis Public, St. Louis Business Journal did an article on us.
Wow.
STL Made has been supporting us. Even nationally, we just got invited for NASDAQ's Milestone Makers program, which we work on the global UN initiatives. So we are doing the UN numbers for sustainability and innovation. So we're a part of that cohort, which they'll take us to New York and feature us. And so we're, just really focused on innovation, sustainability, and how to move the entire globe, the entire world forward.
Oh my gosh.
Have been a part of the Tory Burch Foundation Fellowship, which is an organization that just keeps on giving and supports some amazing women. And then also just from Tory Burch and being in that organization and just doing what I do, which has been 20 years of mechanical engineering and rapid prototyping and advanced manufacturing and all these like futuristic type of things that are here to just help us to continue to thrive, not only locally, but nationally, and then even globally. So my most proudest moment, and I am honored to say this publicly on your podcast, is the United States State Department invited us to be a U.S. speaker for the entire globe. So all of the embassies going around and sharing our story of entrepreneurship, innovation.
Oh, wow.
Yes, as an honorarium.
Oh, my
Thank you,
God.
Kristy.
I wish I had one of those clapping sound bites. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing that with our audience. That is huge. It is so important to share these stories because when we look at research and data, it says that Black women are not represented in innovation. They're not represented in technology, right? And so to have your story shared, that you are that woman that's going to be represented globally for following your passion, a gift that was nurtured, girl, don't make me cry, nurtured in you from a child, and you just using those experiences to build something unique that is making a global impact. Own that, beautiful. Own it. That is amazing.
Thank you, Kristy. I am just really deeply breathing and taking in everything that you are saying with so much gratitude and just I'm honored. I am just to have the charge, to be the steward.
Yes, it's all about that stewardship and that journey, right? Because I know you said 20 years and you look like you're 20, to be honest. But you know what? It reminds me, I've written a book called Dream, Sync, Launch. And it's a framework for the journey, the real truth behind the journey of entrepreneurship, which is that dream, is that pie in the sky idea that you start with, like, man, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to take over the world. Everybody's going to buy a Posie Pot. And then you feel like, then you hit those sync moments where you realize, okay, that first prototype didn't work. Okay, nobody wants to fund me. Okay, they say that I can't be in this space, so I'm not getting the opportunities. Right? So those sync moments happen. But you take those moments and those experiences and you roll them all up into grit, to faith, to perseverance, and you use it to launch on a global stage just like you are doing. So I want to talk about those sync moments because those are the ones that we don't like to share.
Yes.
Those are the ones we like to not post on Instagram and Facebook and all those places, right? I know you had some single moments
Absolutely.
getting to this place. So share some of those moments with us and how you overcame them.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I love this story. I love this question because you're so right. We all, it's like the fairy tale and they skip and you see the success story, but you don't see the 5, 10, 20, 30 years of true grit. And I saw that that grit is like a verb or an action word. It's true grit. But that's not really what we want. We want the journey. We want not to just be in a grinder. So that those moments that you were talking about, I call those my Flat Stanley moments. So if you know or read the book or seen back in the day, Flat Stanley.
Yes, ma'am. Look, in a former life, I was an educator for 20 years. So yes, ma'am. I know Mel and Flat Stanley and all the places that he can go. Girl,
Flat
yes,
Stanley.
I love
Tell you about Flat Stanley moments.
Flat Stanley. So good.
So actually, like I said, my 20 years in the whole mechanical engineering and aerospace places and, being a project manager and program manager in some huge, big Fortune 500 places, I was always the outlier. I was always the brown girl in the room. I was always the only girl in the room. A lot of times, and 99% of the time, the only female Black woman in senior level leadership. And so what that looks like for my peers and coworkers is you don't look like me, so I don't trust. And this is human nature.
Yes.
This is totally human nature. And even I can go back into my university years and going like, I always thought that I would be an automotive engineer. And I ended up being an aerospace engineer. But this is how God leads you. And even if you, in moments of grit, where you think that you should be in a place or that you were wronged by something and you gave it your all, and if it doesn't go through, God is directing you and steering you in a path that's beyond your wildest dreams or what you could imagine. So when I was in college, they were like, we don't want you on our team. This is an all boys automotive team. So you're not going to be on our team. You got to go somewhere else. And so I did my senior design project with someone else, all, salty, like, why they didn't pick me? No one wants to get picked last or not even picked at all.
Yeah.
And so even after I graduated from university, it took me 2 years to get on with the aerospace companies. It took me a long time to even just make it there. 2 years of applying
Wow.
every single 2 years.
2 years,
and
yeah. Even in your field, right? As a woman in your field, you would think that companies would see this as a gap and an opportunity for them. But no, 2 years.
Yes.
Wow.
2 years. And so I finally got on, and I got on with onto a team of tool engineers that were all baby boomers. They were all from the baby boomer era. They had probably never seen anyone nor met anyone in flesh, in person. So you have to think these are people that, go to their own churches in certain demographic areas, only see certain people. And so now they bring this young, fresh 20-year-old, fresh out. Well, not even, I had working experience. I had like 5 years of working experience by the time I made it there. And they still were like, we don't want you. Where did you come from? Are you staying late? No, I'm not staying late. I'm going home to my husband and my children. Oh, well, you must not be, always like strife. But I knew that there was a higher purpose for me, and I was always curious. So always stay curious and always continue to learn. So then I started getting into like leadership organizations and signing up for things like the Leadership Center and training like Six Sigma, which is like a black belt methodologies and things like that. And so as I could continue to climb and escalate, they would always try to pull me down and say, well, I don't know why you're doing all that. You're trying to make us look bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to be a part of us. Oh, look at you trying to excel. So always this like, let me put you in a box and let me put you into this, like glass ceiling effect of you not making it. So I would always move every 2 to 3 years. So they would call engineer your own career. So every 2 to 3 years, I would learn skills, learn what I needed to know, and then move. Learn and then move. Learn and then move. And I always felt like I would either be like a director of R&D, so I was always into innovation and research and development and R&D. So even I've had people like leave nasty notes on my desk. I've had people leave like condescending comments. One time I was in a group of like all, them.
Yeah.
And one of them were like, oh, we're getting ready to go because we would do these analyses on different projects and things like that. And we were walking, and there was a group of us, probably about 10 to 15 of us, and I'm the only one that looks like me. And they were like, oh, we're getting ready to go have a lynching mob. I said, you can't say that.
And what year? Wait, what year was this?
Oh, this was like 2000 and like 2005, 2010, something like that. Between those, it was middle 2000s, late 2000s, something like that.
Yes.
Yes, we are in Missouri. We are in a place where even some of my coworkers and peers, they had nannies and they had maids that looked like us, that they remember raising them. Yeah. And so this is just like, this is their era. And I'm coming in as a new up and coming. And I always tell the women and the ladies now, I say, you ladies are fearless.
Yeah.
The new up and coming engineers, creators, inventors, makers, leaders, entrepreneurs are fearless.
They are. They have seen the barriers be broken because of stories like yours, because of stories like mine. Like, I've always been the first in many of the roles that I have served in, the first woman and the first woman of color. And so you make it easier for those. And that's really one of the passions behind this Connector podcast is like, you're going to hear stories here that you may not see in your life. You may not know people. You may not know a Kay or a Kristy or, the women or the gentlemen for that matter that are a guest on this podcast. We want you to see what's possible through our stories, that we're sharing. And it's so critical. But this current generation, you are right. They are writing their own path, their own futures, and they're not waiting for us to give them permission.
They are not asking for permission.
And I love that.
Move the chair back. I will be sitting here. Excuse yourself. This is for me.
I love it. And self-care. They're like, no, I'm not coming in. I'm working 3 days a week. I'm not working 5 or 7 or whatever because I need to manage my self-care, my mental health. I'm here for it.
Yes. I just got an opportunity to go to South by Southwest, which was in Austin.
Yes.
And I met so many of those women that you're speaking to. This professor, she's a professor, young Black woman professor, and she wrote to her boss. She's like, I'm going to be out of the office this day and this day, and put it in. And her boss was like, well, you have to ask for permission. And she's like, no. I am telling you, I already bought the ticket. I already am planning to go.
Yes.
I am informing you. Now, if you need more time of this information, then I can give you that. And I was like,
I'm here for it, right? I love to watch Instagram reels, and so I saw one like that, and basically it was saying, I'm taking these days off, but it's up to you how you process that. I don't care, whatever form, you figure that part out, because I'm taking my days. I'm like, go for it, you know, because people, your employers see the value in you, right? And so I'm just grateful that, the pandemic was such a challenging and a horrible time for so many of us. But I mean, that great resignation, the great awakening that happened for all of us, that we got to prioritize what really mattered in our lives. And we're moving in that. And there are some companies that took advantage of that and are innovating in the way that they are, allowing their employees to come in and work from hybrid models and things like that. But some are behind the curve. They're going to miss out on talent.
Yes.
Because there is a gap. There's so much talent out there, but there's not an alignment, missionally or with the scheduling or, just what matters most. And I think it's time for companies and organizations to be more flexible so that they can maximize, the high and the talent pool.
Yes, absolutely. And you're so right. Posie Pots thrived through the pandemic. So I launched the business in 2019, and people were like, oh, I want this size, I want this shape, I want this color, can we do this plan? And then the pandemic came, and because I was only selling through to local people.
Okay.
Once the pandemic came, it blew up nationally. People wanted green in their space. People wanted plants in their space. People were redecorating, custom designing, trying to reimagine their health and their wealth.
Yes.
Because plants, cleans the air, gives back the carbon dioxide, all of that.
Yes.
And so, yes, you were right. As far as the pandemic making a huge shift in the way that we think about life and in the way that we care for ourselves.
Yeah.
And the other point that you were making about just the innovation and us missing out on that gap. So I am currently working with the Advanced Manufacturing and Innovation Center to bridge those gaps, because now we have this group of new women coming into this workspace of what does manufacturing look like? What does innovation look like now? It's not like the dirty tooling, the smokestacks and drills and all of that. And also, I think that Rung for Women is also trying to push an initiative as well, where they are taking, women that are our peers and our age and going okay, you have not worked yourself out. You still have value that you can add to corporations, your own business, or, join in a different reimagined way.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned advanced manufacturing, because there is a huge opportunity, and there's lots of funding in this space, but I'm not sure that a lot of people know about it. And this is, I'm put this out here, this is an international podcast. And so, yes, we are, in St. Louis, Missouri, but our audience is global, right? So tell us more about that industry and ways in which you might learn more or tap into it, whether you're in St. Louis or wherever you are.
Absolutely. So I believe that it actually was a presidential initiative that they put out to support advanced manufacturing. And there is a huge fund and funding surrounding us reinventing the way that we build things, because there are limits on materials. There are limits on being able to mine, being able to extract these different metals and different things around the globe, whether it's governmental restrictions, taxes, tariffs, all of those different things play a huge role in how we build and how we plan to build. So globally right now, they are really pushing forward and trying to fund the way that we do advanced manufacturing, whether that's with robotics, whether that's through AI and gaming, whether that's through advanced manufacturing, meaning 3D printing, alternative ways to manufacture and build things through what they call a rapid prototyping, which is not the traditional manufacturing with hard metals, hard tooling takes 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So it would take me 3 years to build or manufacture a Posie Pot in the traditional way. It takes me 1 day or 12 hours to manufacture and print out the Posie Pot using this new way of building, and also alternative materials. So it's made from a corn-based
That's what I was going to say. I imagine it's more sustainable.
Yes, it's sustainable.
Yeah.
So recyclable, reusable, and we're also using natural things that are already readily available to us instead of remixing new chemicals and chemical things that may impact us or harm us on a physical body level. So yes.
I mean, what you're saying is so critical. And to me, you know, and we can probably agree on this is an equity issue, because there are so many Black and brown business owners that will not be able to take advantage of this revolution. I'm also the executive director of the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Harris Stowe State University, which is an HBC, the only HBCU here in St. Louis. And we work with, to date, 1,200 entrepreneurs that have gone through our programming or been a part of the resources that we offer to support, the growth of small businesses. But many of the businesses that we serve are service-based businesses. And so we really have been grappling with how do we position our entrepreneurs to be able to take advantage of this advanced manufacturing opportunity that's out here. And, you know, we realize that Black and brown people in general are more consumers than creators. And so it's big shoes to fill. It's a big problem. But where can we start in our communities, in our organizations, in conversations with our peers about making this shift from being consumers to creators so that we can take advantage of this technology that's moving forward?
Absolutely. And I love that you are taking the charge and leading us through conversation, through this podcast, through your energy and efforts with Harris Stowe and She Can Connect.
Yes.
So thank you for putting my voice and putting our voice out there to spark the conversation, so that we can ask ourselves those questions and revisit, like, oh, if I had a product, or what do I use all the time, or what problem can I solve? So it all starts with like a problem statement or an issue, or maybe you hear it all the time and maybe you feel like maybe I'm not qualified for it. But no, on the limiting beliefs, you are qualified for it. And the next thing is to ask for help. Just ask someone, hey, do you know anybody? That's it.
So true.
That's it.
It's so true. And it's almost like there's so many laws that are like spiritual laws that come to mind, laws of attraction, like things like that. But you set the intention that this is the goal that you want to achieve. And those connections, God will make those connections for you,
yes.
right? And I've shared this story on a different episode, but I was actually in this podcast studio as a guest maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I just kind of looked around. I love the energy of the space, and just it's inspiring. It's important for me to be in spaces that inspire me, my creativity. And I looked around. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast here. And here I am 3 years later doing a podcast here, right?
Congratulations.
So my point, thank you. But my point is that it will find you, right? When you set the intention of what you really want to do. But this idea of asking those questions and just putting that idea out there, because even with me, you know, I'm learning so much about this industry. And it seems, when you say advanced manufacturing, it seems so big. Like you have to have so much technical knowledge or experience.
You don't.
And what we're hearing with, with some of this funding, the funding can be used to support the resources that you need, the attorneys that will help you with patents, the designers that will help you create your prototype, the marketing folks that you need, right? So it's not what you think. Like, you don't have to have the completed prototype. There's R&D, like you said. I mean, you got to do the research. There are going to be several iterations of this idea. So it's okay for you to start. It reminds me of that formula 409, like 409 times. Like, how many iterations of Posie Pots did you have?
Too many to state. There were several ugly baby moments. There were several functionality moments. So it actually was an internal to an external. I did 5 years of just looking, researching, prototyping. I also bootstrapped it. So don't feel like you have to rush to the end. Like you said 2 years ago. And don't be afraid of the years that we keep saying, or it's going to take me this year. Because along those paths, you're going to learn so many things about yourself. You're going to rediscover yourself. You're going to learn new things about yourself. You're going to grow. You're going to excel. You're going to it's all up in the journey. Because the final destination is unimaginable. God is going to, when you get there, well done, good and faithful servant.
Oh, my God.
But take the journey, go through the learning experience, enjoy, and have the joy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, my God. That is so good. I told my husband when I was doing, just kind of starting this podcast, I told him the first day of recording, I said, babe, pray for me that, this goes well. He said, babe, I'm not praying for you. He said, I'm praying for joy for you. He said, just go have fun. He said, God already equipped you to do this. You know how to talk to people. That's your gift. I'm not praying for you for that. I'm praying for joy in the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
So that there is power in joy, isn't
Absolutely.
it? And that's your brand.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that is your brand.
It is.
So when you think of Posie Pots, you think of Kay and the joy that comes with that.
Yes.
It's just it's reminding me of the holistic process of the journey that aligns itself to make it all work together. You couldn't be a mean person selling flowers and plants and Posie Pots. I mean, it just doesn't match, right?
No.
It doesn't match.
You're right.
It doesn't match. So it's all
I spent so much time, those 20 years, that the few flat Stanley moments and all the seriousness I used to have, and no knock to anyone who has their hair or aesthetic to their the way that you present yourself. But I used to have my sew-ins, and I used to wear my wigs and all my agreeable hair and all of my
agreeable
suits.
hair. I love that. We've had such nuggets on here, like some mic drop moments. That's a good one. Agreeable hair, right? Because that's what it's about. It's like making somebody feel less intimidated about our presence.
Yes.
So I get exactly what you're saying with that. That's exactly what it is. But carry on.
And I, once I started growing my locks and started really leaning into who I was, it was like the places that I used to work at were high stress, very masculine, very straightforward, shoot it, very in your face, very I will walk you down, because we're dealing with $1 billion projects, not $1 million project, $1 billion projects. And when I stepped over into Posie Pots, which is going to become $1 billion company as well.
It is not going to be. It is.
It is.
It is.
Yes.
It is a $1 billion company.
I received.
Thank you. That was a done deal before the creation of the world. When God foreknew you in your mother's womb, He set you up to receive that. So it's coming. So the next time you come on this podcast, that's when you're gonna say, Posie Pots is $1 billion. It's $1 billion company.
Thank you.
It's going to happen.
Thank you.
It's happening.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went into this new beginnings, I said, it's going to be all about childhood, fun, joy, greenery, outside, play, imagine, invent, create, have fun, relax. Take a breath in, take a breath out.
I feel it. You just centered the space in this room.
Thank you.
Just by saying that. There's such power there. And that's where creativity likes to live. Mm-hmm. Because your thoughts are clear. You can think of those memories. It is a beautiful thing. All of the products that I've created to help women shine the light on their creative brilliance are basic, our connector cards are images that allow you to, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I say a picture is worth 1,000 ideas.
Yes.
And that's why we use this as a prompt, for helping women to think bigger. But these are simple lessons that we learned in kindergarten.
Yes.
Right? That we learned to color, to play with ideas, and to just keep building upon those. So I love that you are bringing that back.
Thank you.
You're bringing that back.
Thank you, Kristy. And I want to share that with our youth. We do have a nonprofit entity as well where we focus on STEM.
Wow.
And we have a certificate program around the advanced manufacturing, how to 3D print, how to draw on the computer, how to bring your idea to life, whatever that may be. Let's just start on paper with like a rough sketch, and then we convert it into the computer system, and then we teach them how to actually model, and then we bring the 3D printers out, and they actually 3D print. So we actually work with Lincoln University's Urban Outreach Program for 6 weeks, just rolling that out. And then we go into plant science and how to grow in a Posie pot and how to plant and how to get back in nature and feel the soil in your hands and play again. Because so many of our youth are bogged down. They were shut in. I always tell them, I say, you guys, your generation has experienced something that no one in no record of history has ever experienced.
I totally agree with you. I feel like, man, we have seen so many firsts in this lifetime. So many firsts. And you're absolutely right. Like, mental health, I can just see this benefiting so many areas, just kind of getting back to the earth.
Yes.
So I love that you have created a curriculum around this.
Thank you.
Because the learning, the knowledge, the information is the gap.
Yes.
You feel like you're born an engineer. That's what we're told. You're born an engineer. If you're a woman, you can't do this, but you can learn these things.
Yes.
And I am so grateful that you have also included that in your path to not just grow your business and benefit from your business, but you're also giving back because it's so needed.
Thank you,
so
Kristy.
Needed.
Oh, my goodness.
I just love this alignment with these podcasts because this is all about giving back, like learning, sharing the story, but hopefully we're inspiring our audience. I've learned this. Now, what can I do in my own life to pay it forward? Maybe I'm not going to be a designer or an engineer or make a Posie pot, but I might be able to encourage somebody. I might be able to send a quick text to say, girl, keep going. Or, guy, I see you, right? So what can you do today to encourage someone and pay it forward? Because that's the affirmation that we need to realize that we can do it too.
Yes.
We can do it too. And you are such an awesome representation of that.
Thank you.
So I love to close out our podcast with affirmations and action steps. So I'm going to go to our connector cards. You've done these before.
I love these.
These are
so much fun.
The messaging.
So much fun.
Something simple, a simple picture
Very.
that God just uses to bring brilliant ideas forward and affirmations. So I'm going to ask you to pick a card. Pick a card.
I have a card.
Okay. And everybody can't see the card, so go ahead and describe what you see.
Okay, I'm turning it over.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I love it. This is so me.
Oh, my God.
And Kristy's Connect Her cards are amazing. Even day to day, moment to moment, if you take just 5 minutes to sit with one of her cards, it is just going to breathe life into you.
Oh my God.
And so this card is a picture of a mom, a working mom, which I am a working mom.
Yes.
And the family is so important to me. Mm-hmm. So it goes God, family, business. Mm-hmm. Those are my top 3. And this card is so speaking. So she's got her cup of coffee. And if you know me, I like my coffee. I do. I put honey in it, and I do almond and oat milk. And yes. And she has her blue blazer on, which Posie Pots brand is blue. It's a dark blue for our logo. And she's got like pops of gold on her shoulders, which is amazing. I got my gold pants on today. She's like on her tablet. She's got all her things around her for work. But what's most important is to her right is her baby sitting right on the desk with her. And I have 3 babies. They are not babies anymore. They are young adults.
Yeah.
But I still feel like when I look at them, their face is just the same little baby face, just on a young adult body.
Yes.
And the baby is like, I'm learning too, Mom. I can do it. And it's amazing because my babies were with me the whole entire time that I built this company. I take them with me. I take them on shoots. I take them on commercial reels.
Wow.
And plug, we are on Walmart.com and working with Walmart right now. So Walmart's going to ship us out. So in 2 weeks to Las Vegas to do a Walmart run with them. They're going to shoot a commercial with us.
Wow.
So all things Walmart, the number 1 retailer. So yes.
So what image, what affirmation does this image inspire for you that we can share with our audience?
So this affirmation for me, like I said, it's giving me God family business. That's what it's giving me.
Yeah.
So of course she's focused on her business, but even all around her, you can see she's got her plants in the background. There's just this energy of togetherness, organization, planning, togetherness. God is going to lead you down your path and cover you. Just like you said, it's already preordained. Family, she's got her baby here. And business. It's all business.
Yeah. You've got to know your priorities. And I love that you share that as an affirmation, God, family, business, because it can be done in that order. Right? Oftentimes we look at strategies, what Forbes tells us how to grow a business or what the SBA tells us about how to grow a business. But let me tell you, my secret sauce, my secret to success is G-O-D. I consult with God and the Holy Spirit for all things. And that has been the order in my life. So I appreciate the affirmation and the validation that is a valuable process, right? I mean, everybody doesn't understand it, and your process is your process. But for me, as they say, as the word says, for me and my house, we serve God, and that is how we grow and thrive in life. So I just appreciate you being here. You are such a light. I just can't stop sharing that in so many ways, because the work that you're doing through your innovation, through your product, is such a light. It's illuminating the path of innovation and what's possible for women. But I always say, every entrepreneur is not going to be an influencer or, someone that's going to be inspirational. Some people just make widgets, and that's okay. But you are also a light. You are an inspiration as well as a successful entrepreneur. So it is an extreme pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much.
You are absolutely welcome. So I don't know about you, but my cup is full. I am full of joy. And if you feel the same about today's episode, do me a favor and subscribe, leave a review, and be a connector. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this with someone who needs to hear this message today. And I want you to always remember, your bold life is waiting for you to just say yes to it. So until next time, stay bold, stay fearless, and be a connector.